You are listening to the Next Play podcast, the playbook for high-performing leaders who want to exceed their full potential. From walking on the Ole Miss football team at 5'7", 150 pounds and earning a full D1 scholarship, to coaching thousands around the world and working with massive organizations like IBM. I've learned countless lessons that I'll be sharing right here with you. Join me as I interview some of the most successful people so you too can learn how to focus on always moving forward by deciding, planning, and executing on the next play relentlessly. This is Richie Contartesi with the Next Play podcast, and today I have a very special guest, someone who's become a really good friend of mine, and he is the founder and owner of Bail Hotline, Miracles and Dreams, MBG, thank you. They have nightclubs, they own restaurants, they've made a huge impact in Southern California, and I'm really honored to have Marco on this podcast to share his story, because him and his brothers came from nothing and have built multiple businesses, very successful, multiple 8-figure businesses, and then not only that, but also built nonprofits around it to give back, and that's rare, and it's something to be really proud of. So, Marco, thanks so much for being on the.
I appreciate this beautiful introduction. You're always such a great guy, giving me this huge platform. No, but Rich, me and you have been friends for a while. We met probably 5-6+ years ago, and I think we hit it off right from the get-go. I was younger, you were younger, and I saw potential in you just like you saw the potential in me. And really, my whole goal in my life is just networking with people that have my vision and kind of like my, what do I expecting, and it's really just working as a team. You know what I mean? And there's so much people around you. You've been a great team player for us, with your coaching, your mentoring, and really, I mean, my next 5 years, I just want to just knock it out of the water. Yeah. Whatever I touch, I just want it to be the golden ticket, man.
Yeah, I love it, and like we're here at your conference, right? We've been working together for 4 or 5 years, and watching your growth and where you want to take this company is absolutely amazing. Like you're talking about going nationwide. You're already the biggest bail company in the state of California, and you're working on going nationwide, doubling revenue and more. So real quick, before we get into that, I want to talk about how you got here and what were maybe 1, 2, or 3 big things that you feel you did to get to this position.
Well, it all happened organically, it's about having an opportunity and taking advantage of it. As a kid, I was always trying to hustle, you can't look at your life and say, hey, just because I don't have the resources of that other individual, I can't get to that point, right? And, we were poor, but I never saw myself as a poor kid. Yeah. Honestly, my mother sheltered us very well. We were poor, but we were happy. And, she allowed us to grow. I was 10 years old and I was throwing the paper all over the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Like, you got to build those traits as a child, right? And, one of the things that I preach is allow your child to be himself. If he wants to wash a car, let him wash a car. Yeah. If he wants to do a lemonade stand, let him do a lemonade stand. I was just always trying to figure out how to make a buck. Yeah. And my mom was very open to that. And my dad, he was like, go out and get it if you want. Yeah. To wear those 501 jeans back when I was a kid, you needed to work for it, you know? So I think it just all happened organically, in a sense that it happened since a small child, Yeah.
And we were just always hustling and finding ways, man.
Not feeling bad for yourself, sorry for yourself. This is, everybody's life is a journey, right? Right. You have your journey, I have mine, and the people that are listening to this podcast, ride that journey to the fullest. Mm-hmm. you're going to have your ups and downs, and many people have talked about that. But it's not always going to be like, oh, today's a great day. No, you got to make yourself positive.
Right.
Nothing's going to happen by sitting in the chair and hoping it happens. No,
Right.
you got to make it happen.
Yeah.
You got to just want it and really like strive to think, hey, nothing's going to stand in my way, right? Because we all have haters.
Yeah.
Your worst haters are your uncles or a cousin of yours. You know what I mean? But those are the kind of people.
Keyboard warriors.
Yeah, as you're growing up, you're hoping that, hey, you know what? And if you find that mentor, you find that one individual, could be your grandpa, it could be a neighbor, whatever, could be a teacher. Dude, you better like really listen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's one of the things that kids nowadays, and just people, listen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really listen.
How do you know who to listen to? Because everyone today has a voice. Like, what are your thoughts on? I think it's a good point of people actually listening to people who have done things. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on because everyone has an opinion today too.
Yeah, everybody's an influencer. Everybody is some type of Tony Robbins, right?
Right.
I've never looked at myself as an influencer or Tony Robbins. I consider myself at this point of my life that I have a lot of experience.
Right.
And if I could touch somebody and they could hear my story, that could be their story if they wanted to. You know what I mean? And realistically, you got to be careful on who you listen to. You know what I mean? Because there's so many people that have different ideologies, or they just have. They have no reality, right? I'm not going to watch.
They don't have experience.
They don't have experience. The biggest, worst misconceptions nowadays is like, oh, I want to drive that Ferrari, but I don't want to work. I want to be on a yacht, and I don't care if I'm the owner. I just want to take a picture on that yacht.
Right.
Well, it's a picture.
Or they rented it, or whatever.
Whatever, man. But don't be one of those people that you're Instagram happy, right? Like you take a picture on somebody's car, it's not even your car.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just be true to the game.
Well, it's almost like one of those things, like you see people taking pictures on the private jets and stuff. The reason they have to do that is because it's not something they do often. Like, do you take a picture?
You know how many times I've been on a private jet?
How many?
And my income, you've been around me.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've been on a private jet?
How many?
One time.
One time.
I think it's a great tool.
Yeah.
But it's a tool.
Right.
It's not about, I need to jump on a jet to make myself look cool.
Right, that's what they do that. They jump on it and they take a picture, but the people that fly private all the time, they're not taking a picture every time.
No.
It's like getting in an Uber.
You think that Mr. Bezos is taking a picture on his private jet? No. He looks at his jet like, I bought this jet because I needed to be at that conference, that meeting.
Right. And
it's the way I transport and get to somewhere because I need to be more successful, right?
Right.
I was listening to Tony Robbins. I've enjoyed, watching him and listening to him. He bought his private jet because, he needed to maximize his time.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why you do things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and I had a great time on that private jet. But I'm not going to buy me a private jet to take pictures. Like, I don't travel that much. I'm fortunate because I've traveled in the past. I'll be honest with you, it's not that great to travel everywhere. You know what I mean? If I had to do it, okay, but, a lot of people, they're going to listen to this podcast, and it's like, you got to be real to the game. And what I mean by that is you got to put in time into your game.
Right.
It's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
If that's great. If you have a parent and they work their ass off, don't mess that up.
Yeah.
Man, your dad worked his whole life to give you something.
Yeah.
Did you study your dad's work ethics? Did you study your dad, his mentality? Do you ever have a conversation with your dad? You know what I mean? Or your mom or whoever. But man, it's really important. You got to roll up your sleeves, man.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen.
Well, one thing I like with your story, which is really powerful, is that when you were building your company, multiple 8-figure company, you weren't going out and getting all the flashy and you invested it back in the business. And now today you're buying a yacht and all that, but 20 years ago.
20 plus years ago,
right,
you know what I mean? When I bought my home, it was $1 million.
But you believe in delayed gratification and investing everything in the business.
You got to develop the people around you. You got to develop your company. You better make sure that you understand that, hey, I'm going to give back to my company.
Yeah.
You know, I've always had this cliche: before I get paid, my people get paid.
Right.
Right? Because, you know, that's showing, you know, without my team, how am I going to be driving a $200,000-$300,000 sports car and I can't make payroll? Right? And I'm living in a multi-million-dollar home and I miss payroll, or I can't put back into my marketing team.
Right.
Or, you know, there's missing links to my puzzle. No, man, I really believe that you gotta be like my company's first.
Right.
It's gonna come.
Yeah.
Trust me. Like, you know, those things don't make me happy, first of all. You know, I've driven every sports car you could think of. You know, I've done it all.
It's cool in the beginning.
It's cool in the beginning. You know, and that's like, I'm
Because
gonna
you
tell
have
you
a
what happens.
Ferrari, right?
Yeah, I've had a Ferrari, I've had a Lambo, my brothers, you know, it's like, I've driven the Rolls and yeah, it's cool. But you know what, at this point of my life, I think watching people grow, watching when I build, you know, and we were talking about this earlier, I've opened up 3 or 4 restaurants in 2 years. In COVID, man.
Right. And
COVID.
nightclub
Yeah,
restaurants.
they're called dinner experience, right? They're lounges, right? I'm trying to get
I mean, and just for the audience listening right now, these are like top of the line. When you walk in, you're like blown away. Modern, like nice, elegant, like they're they're called dinner experiences.
Yeah, they're called dinner experience. But I think, you know, you have to build your brand, right? I know you've taken a lot. You're looking at your logo and who you are and who you bring around you. I think it's important, the brand that you build, and whatever industry you're in, you take a lot of pride in that brand.
Yeah.
Right? That's your name.
Right.
That's your brand. And, you know, when we open up a venue, to us, it's like, they gotta not just look pretty, but they gotta have everything to it.
Right.
They gotta have the right cocktails. They gotta have the right food.
Right.
You know, I'm paying, you know, I just hired a new chef, and I was just thrown back with his knowledge, you know what I mean, with his experience. Because, you know, he spent the last 40 years, you know, just at his craft. And he's very passionate. And when I look at that inspires me, that I can bring on a guy like that and really make a difference in my venues, you know. But realistically, our venues are beautiful. You know, I'm not saying that because you're biased, but you've been in there.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, literally,
and
there was
Prohibition
and there was Salvatore's Prohibition and DTE.
Yeah, DTE. We finally just went to LA. You know, we opened up in downtown LA. So.
And another Prohibition.
Yeah, and we had the taco shop. We call it taqueria. So, I mean, it's not a taco shop. This is a taqueria lounge.
Right.
You know, you see a lot of this in Mexico City.
Okay.
They're just these cool, just sexy vibes, but it's a taco shop, right? But it's just, when you walk in, you're like, whoa, this is cool stuff.
Right. It's and the biggest thing that I've noticed is the food is amazing, but it's the detail. Like, there was a company event at your venue last night. We all went there, and literally one of the drinks was called Bail Hotline.
Yeah.
And in the foam was the logo, and it said Bail Hotline. It's the attention to detail and the planning that's put in to create that experience. And I want to talk about that for a second, because I think today more than ever, because you can get information anywhere, and you can you know, because of that, it's more about the experience that you can create for people, whether you're digital, online, or in person. So how did that for you come to be so important? Like, even at this event, I want to have the right decoration. Like, I want to create this environment, this experience.
Well, you know, one of the things, as the human nature, you know, experience is everything. Because you always want to make it epic, right? Like,
but that's something that's always been important to you?
Yeah, it's always been important to me and my brothers, just, you know, especially for me, you know, the details. You know, I will always look at the details. I'll walk into a room and I'm like, okay, I'll go to the restroom, see if the restrooms are clean. You know, I'm real anal about that. That's just, you know, a pet peeve for me. But, you know, even in our offices, you know, it's creating an environment, right? It's like, let's create this environment where people just get lost, because especially in today's time, there's so much coming at you.
Right.
I feel bad for the youth today, because I mean, your mind's developing. You're like, wow, you know, I mean, what do I believe?
1 second.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. And but I will tell you though, you know, it's very important, the details, because that's what makes the difference.
Right.
The details. Is that food prepared right?
Right.
When that plate came out, did it look the way I wanted it to look? That drink, you know, the Bell Hotline symbol. My managers, you know, they put a lot of work into their game. You know, right now we're at this retreat, and you know, there's been 3 days of just, you know, a development of educating, and sometimes just going over.
Right.
You know, one of the persons I hold dearly, and you know, it's a shame that he's no longer with us, but Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
You know, just a master at detail. You know, the work.
That was his thing.
That was his thing. You know, everything to him was just
Yeah.
work, work, work. And, you know, I think if you just stay on course, stay focused.
Yeah.
You know, and don't get caught up on things that makes no sense.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool to have a good time, but did you earn that good time? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't eat breakfast in the morning. You know, I don't eat breakfast in the morning.
Because you didn't deserve it?
I didn't deserve it. I heard
Is
that
that
on
real?
the podcast. I didn't deserve
You
to
do.
eat.
So you're like intermittent fasting or whatever?
I'm like, dude, I deserve to give me a coffee because I can't wake up without my coffee, man. But I don't deserve to have that breakfast. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
have breakfast with my wife on a Saturday or Sunday because she deserves it.
Yeah.
She's put up with
Yeah.
all my nonsense whole week, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna eat breakfast with my wife, and it's helped me because, you know, I went to sleep, I had a good dinner, and then I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, no, you don't deserve to eat.
Yeah.
You know, when I eat my lunch is because I put in some work. I've
Yeah.
had some meetings, I made a difference in the day, and then I'm eating my lunch. And that's just the way I think, and that's my way of looking at life.
Yeah. And it's worked out really well for you.
Well, I'm 160 pounds, 51, 5'9", so,
I mean, you're
and I don't work out crazy, you know.
No, but you're
Yeah,
in shape.
exactly.
You're not like overweight.
Yeah, and I think that health is you know, your health is your wealth,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, you know, you can have all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy, you know,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that we go back to. I'll give COVID 2 seconds of this. There's something that we learned: is health is everything.
Right.
You know, you have a mansion, but you're sick. You can't get out of bed.
Yeah.
What good is it?
Right.
That makes no sense.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
So what are you focused on right now? Right. You've got this charity and nonprofit, Miracles and Dreams, and I see all your videos, and I haven't been able to go to an event because they're here in Cali. It just happened to not be the right time. But what you're doing there is special. What you're doing with Bail Hotline, you're basically trying to double it in a
Yeah.
period of time. What's your focus? How do you,
You know-
and how do you stay focused?
Well, you know what,
Clubs and restaurants and
I just have good people around me, and I really trust the people that I put into play. And, you know, I'm hoping that the people that I put next to me understand my vision, understand what I'm expecting from them.
Yeah.
You know, I think I treat the people around me on the highest regard, you know, of their emotional intelligence, their dedication, and, you know, when we made the Miracle and Dreams and I made it more of a foundation, you know, I brought in a director, and I'm still, you know, we have our meetings and I'm telling them, hey, let's do this, let's go with that. And I'm still very in tune with that, you know, because at the end of the day, that's our foundation. That belongs to the McGuires, right?
Yeah.
With all the people that are behind it. And we've had such an amazing support of people that I would never even think that they would come to our spectrum, our realm of things. And I think they look at us and, you know, I hope I inspire others.
Yeah.
You know, and the foundation has given us, you know, the open doors to meet so many good people. We just did an event in Mexico, in Tecate. I have a ranch out there, and thousands and thousands of people showed up.
thousands?
5,000 people.
Whoa.
5,000 people showed up to this plaza, and we were giving out backpacks and books
That's
and
amazing.
pins. It was just and you know, we only had 700. And so what we did, because we didn't have the help from the government, right? So we kind of snuck in these backpacks, right? We're like, you know, we're going to go through this red tape. And so we, you know, we got the permits to do it there. So we snuck in these backpacks, and we had 700 backpacks.
Which is
And
still a lot.
it's still a lot, but
Yeah.
not those.
What was in the backpacks?
We had books, we had notepads, and we had one book that I thought was very important. And I think that was kind of like the book that really hit me, because we got thousands of books.
What is it?
It's a book, how to speak English,
I love
how
that.
to talk,
It's
how
so
to learn
important.
the language of the English. And you know, because you're in Tecate and it's so close to the border, that is such a key to change your life, because you know English. You
Right.
know what I mean? It's like we're in the United States and we're in San Diego or LA. Spanish could be a game changer.
Right.
You know, if you're in sales or whatever industry, you're communicating.
Right.
And that was a book that I felt that it was special to me, is that we could give, and it was a book for children, right?
Yeah.
And it was just basic.
Because they don't teach it in school.
They do, but sometimes it costs money. And this is an easy book where a parent or a brother or
can sit with
sister,
them.
the whole family can learn. You know, we don't know how strong that book will be until later on. Maybe one of these days, a child comes up to me and is like, hey, you know, that book you gave us,
Oh my God, that'd be life changing.
it's a life changer, you know?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and where I'm at in my life, that's, to me, that's the golden ticket,
Yeah.
right?
That's your golden ticket.
That's my golden ticket. It's like,
That's awesome.
you know, and that's what Miracle and Dreams is for me, is we've been blessed to be in this position. And I think that, you know, God has really been good to me and my brothers, given us many opportunities and second chances, because God, you know, when we were younger, we were
For
up
sure.
to no good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just one of those things, you're young and you're committing these mistakes, right? You learn it. It's a journey. But, you know, one of the things is the Miracle and Dreams. We're going to have a huge event December 11th in Riverside. They close
Okay.
down the park. We're going to have the mayor. We're going to have, our goal is, I think it's 2,000 or 3,000 kids. And we're making it not just a toy drive. There's going to be 100+ different booths at the park. I think it's park is called White Park. Beautiful park there in
Yeah.
downtown Riverside. And we're just going to take over that park and have a health. We're going to have so many different booths for families.
Yeah.
And hopefully that one day we just have a special day that we remembered ourselves.
Right.
But also all these kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's got to get away from, you know, let a kid be a kid.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Got to be, let them just be a child, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to promote this. I think it's important.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this comes out in time. But December 11th.
Yeah, let
in
me just
Riverside.
double check. You know, I'm going to check my phone. You know, you're going to see me on my phone. It's not like I'm on my phone. But
While you're doing that, is there anything that you know? How can someone find you if they say, you know, I want to connect with Marco, I want to be a part of Bail Hotline, or I want to be a part of one of his restaurants, or I want to go to his restaurants or clubs, or how can they find you?
you know, truly, I'm very easy access to get to. You know,
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. I got my Twitter. You know, Facebook. You know, so I leave myself out there for people to communicate with me, and if I feel that there's a connection there, you
Yeah.
know, and there's something that both parties could be, you know, opportunity, or
Right.
even just, you know, when somebody, I've been hit up before and be like, hey Marco, you know, can you give me 2 minutes, 3 minutes of your time? I'm like, cool, you know, just, I'm here, so just come in.
But it's not like a blast message. You can
No,
tell. That,
no,
You
I
can
don't.
tell it was like.
You know, it's going to be Saturday, December 10th. It starts at 10 o'clock. From 2 o'clock, it's at White Park in downtown Riverside. You know, Joe's our director, and it's just going to be a beautiful event.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean, it's our 10th annual. So
Yeah.
this is our 10th year that we're putting this together.
Wow.
So it's a great, just an amazing feeling.
I remember the pictures from last year, because you have them throughout the year.
Yeah,
too,
we
right?
have multiple events. The Miracle and Dreams Foundation, but the Miracle on Main is that one day that we have.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool, awesome. And then we can find you on the best ways Instagram.
Yeah, we have Miracle and Dreams, the Instagram Miracle and Dreams on Facebook.
Yeah.
We have a webpage.
If someone isn't going to be able to attend that event, but they want to make a donation, is it the Miracle and
Yeah,
Dreams?
Miracle and Dreams. Yeah, definitely.
.com, is that what it is?
Miracle and Dreams. It's a nonprofit.
.org.
.org. Yeah.
Miracle and Dreams.org.
Yeah. .org.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the ability to, I would highly suggest giving a donation.
Yeah, you know, or it doesn't always have to be Miracle in Dreams. It could be any foundation you truly, and there's a lot of foundations that you truly connect with.
Right.
I think that it's very important. Many people connect with maybe a cancer foundation because, you know, one of their loved ones or whatever, or a foster program. Ours really specifically is based on children, and really based on community-based, you know, on families, and you know, I have to be a little biased, you know, I'm Mexican, you know, and I really, you know, really work with Mexican communities, Latino communities, and to me that's, you know, it's driven to help out other Latinos succeed in life and not hate on one another. You know what I mean? It's, you know, I hate that sometimes, you know, our communities sometimes really bash one another, or there's a power trip. And, you know, if you just open up a restaurant, I'm proud for you. I'm excited for you. If there's anything you have a question on any question on marketing, on how you do the restaurant, I'm open. I'm an open book, you know what I mean? And I think that the more and more you teach people, I think the more and more you get back from that. You know?
Absolutely. And the fact that you're open to doing that, I think, is something that I hope people take advantage of. And you never know the relationship that can come from that.
Yeah, of course. I think it's all about building relationships. You know, we build a very fond relationship between me and you, and no matter what happens, you know, we're going to be friends for life. You know what I mean? You have so much potential to be such, you know, a great person for life. You know what I mean? Your words and your wisdom, and, you know, you've been all over the country, and, you know, hopefully you're all over the world one of these days, and just doing, you know, the rich thing, you know what I mean? So I'm proud of you, man. I follow you on TikTok, so I'm one of your best fans, man.
I know, and I appreciate that. I'm glad that 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it was, I got a message about an event in Arrowhead. This is where it all started. So, Marco, thanks so much for being on the show, man.
I appreciate that. And, you know, once again, December 10th, Miracle in Dreams in Riverside. If you want to be a part of the MBG family on the restaurant side, we're always looking for great help. And Bell Hotline, I'm telling you right now, it's the golden ticket. You know,
it's growing fast.
It's growing fast.
If you're looking for an opportunity.
And you want to be a young professional, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, some people think I got to go to school and I got to have a degree, I got to get my master's. You know, school's great. But it doesn't mean it's for everyone. You know what I mean? Just invest in yourself, you know? And that's one of the biggest keys that I would end this with, is invest in yourself. You know, if it's through podcasts, reading, you know, there's so much. Stop wasting your time on nonsense things that you think it's going to give you, oh, I'm going to get better at this. But at the end of the day, you're at the same place where you started. So, thanks,
awesome.
Rich, man.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Next Play podcast. If you liked the show, make sure to leave us a review. For more resources, visit relentlessuniversity.com or download the free Relentless University app. And if you're interested in having me speak at your next event, visit relentlessrichie.com. Until next time.